the invasion and occupation of the United States. That is the focus of today's preamble. Now, millions have already violated our borders. Crossings are at historic numbers. Instead of being sent back to where they came from, the illegals are being given food, shelter, medical care, and plane tickets. Congressman Ralph Norman of South Carolina tells me thousands of illegals are being flown into cities and towns across the nation, all courtesy of the American taxpayers. Now, Norman said one pilot reached out to him from a major American air carrier and was very disturbed about the illegals being forced to board his airplane. He said the illegals had no ID and had not been medically vetted. And at the airport in Tucson, there's literally a sign posted directing illegals to a line for people without passports. Now, get this. American citizens with documents are being manhandled by TSA agents on a daily basis, while illegals without any documentation are being allowed to board the jetliners. Meanwhile, there are growing fears in the media and the political world of terrorist attacks in the homeland. Catherine Herridge, the CBS News journalist, said Sunday she is concerned about a black swan event in 2024. Now, Customs and Border Patrol issued a memorandum 2 weeks ago warning agents to be on the alert for improvised explosive devices, IEDs. So far, at least 10 have been found near the border. And just 3 weeks ago, FBI Director Chris Wray told senators he had never seen a time when there were so many threats against the United States. He said the FBI is working around the clock to identify and disrupt potential attacks. Well, here's the thought. Maybe Mr. Wray ought to consider pulling the agents off conservative parents, pro-lifers, and law-abiding gun owners and focus on the clear and present danger facing the nation. Now, the Democrats tell us these illegals, they're escaping horrifying atrocities in war-torn countries. Well, if that is true, why are the illegals leaving the women and children behind? Most of the people crossing our border are young men of military age, wearing trendy clothes, expensive shoes, and just about everybody has a smartphone. I believe we are watching a coordinated effort by our enemies to infiltrate our nation with a covert army. Now, a number of congressional lawmakers tell me they believe that the sleeper cells are already in the country, just waiting to be activated. It's not a matter of if, but when. That's what our elected leaders are telling us. And fair warning, folks, the October 7th terrorist attack in Israel, it did not start in the big cities. Instead, the invaders targeted small towns and border communities. A sobering thought, as President Biden and the neocons seem more interested in protecting Ukraine's border than our own. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution says this: the federal government must protect states against invasion. For that alone, President Biden ought to be impeached. But we need to deal with the more pressing issue, and that's where state legislatures must step up and intervene. If Washington will not act, the border states must. Otherwise, we may not have a country to save.